What up, Fluffbutts? Foxy here. It has been a long time since I've been able to wear my suit. I hope you're all doing well out there with the COVID-19 crisis. The lockdowns starting to open up again now here in Australia, so that's good. We can get back in our suits and have more fun. You can see more of Foxy 3, but I hope you've all stayed safe and are keeping well. And staying fluffy, of course. I asked my Patreons what they want to see, Q&A, where I answer all your questions, or a Origins of Forks story about how I came up with the idea, the character, the concept, the design, and how I got to be where I am today. So they voted, and they renowningly 75-25% voted for the Origins of Forks story. I got old Foxy here, Foxy 2 here. I got Auntie here. We're going to have a bit of a chat about where I came from, where this suit, where the design, and the origins of Forks himself. I guess we should start all the way at the beginning. On March 15th, 1985, I was born to two Fox parents. No, I was not. But that is my birthday. The first thing that came about with Forks was his name. I actually came up with the name Faux Veritas before I became a furry. It all started back on the game called Final Fantasy XIV. I used to play 11 for about, FF11 for about 10 years. You're allowed to have one character name, the first name, that's it, and my character was called Gospel. That's my first ever furry character, is Gospel the Mithra. Then when 14 came out, they included a last name, and you had to have it. So my first ever character in the beta test was Gospel de Forks. Or Gospel de Faux. I actually pronounced it properly back in the day. And then they did a server wipe because we all know what happened to FF14 1.0. It just died. And then when 2.0 came around, I started to become attached to the Faux part of the name. So I made that my first name. It was Forks. And then I spent a good couple of days trying to think of a good last name. After throwing it back and forth, I came up with the name Veritas. I went through a lot of different languages and settled on Latin the word for truth. Because Forks, or Faux, was the French word for fake, so fake truth. And I loved how it sounded, Faux Veritas. It's just beautiful. That's where the name came from. Moving on from there, my discovery of the furry fandom. Like everyone else, I discovered it, as a kid growing up with Disney movies, but I always kept my distance because the furry fandom seemed like something that wasn't in Australia. It was America, it was Europe, but I never saw anything from Australia. So to avoid depressing myself from falling in love with something that just wasn't accessible to me, I ignored it. I pushed it away. Until one day in 2014, when I was a uni student at USQ studying film and TV. I had to go to my local Spotlight store, which is a fabric shop, to get some fabric to dress a film set I was working on. And while I was waiting to get the fabric cut, there was a brag board where people can post their photos of completed works from from fabrics, outfits, dresses. This one thing stood out to me. It was a page of fursuits, and all it had was a link to Lazy Lupe's YouTube channel. On this collage, the one that stood out to me was this boy right here. A lot of you might know him. That's Kori. He is the first ever fursuit that I've seen, like picture of a fursuit I've seen that's related to me and was a massive inspiration to me and Forks. Because I was on the job, I had to get back to uni to dress this set and get the filming underway. I snapped a quick photo of it and said, I'll get to this later. And then later that evening, I brought my phone back up, went through the photos, and said, yes, I became an internet stalker for Lazy Lupe, because all of a sudden fursuits were within reach. I had to think to myself, this is a local fabric store. Is this local? So after a bit of internet stalking of Lazy Lupe, I discovered, yes, they were local. Through all the YouTube videos, I went through all the descriptions, trying to find a way to contact them. And I found their fur affinity. And then I sent them a note. Hopefully I wasn't too creepy, but it worked out in the end. And then I waited a few days for a response and finally got one back. And then we started communicating back and forth from there. And I kept suggesting, hey, I'd love to meet up, and I want to talk to you about this instead of just waiting days between questions and answers. I want to meet up. I want to say, hey, I want to meet more furries. Eventually she caved and said, okay, come around to my place and I can show you around my workshop. I'm like, oh my god, yes. So I finally get to meet up with Lupe. We just naturally talk about everything. How much I want to get a fursuit, the fact that she wasn't open at the moment, but I'm like, okay, as soon as you open, please let me know. Please, 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 please. A couple of months later, something bad happened. One of her cats had to go into a vet visit, and she needed some cash up front real quick. So she opened for a emergency commission, and I jumped on it. And during that time, I had to come up with the idea for the character. As I said before, Kori was a huge inspiration. I will say a few of my patterns are loosely based on Kori. He's aware of this. I have told him about it. If he comes to me and says, what the hell, Forks? I told you, dude. I told you. Get out of my face. As you can see here, my original fursuit ref sheet was done by the same ref sheet of Kori Karma's by Neon Slushie. We have new ref sheets now, but this is my first ref sheet. Lupe was the one who suggested Neon Slushie. I still have this. This is Faux' original design tail. Instead of hanging backwards like my tail is now, this is his original and it hangs low. It's a big white flippy tail. No orange whatsoever, so I still have that nostalgia trip for original Faux. After getting that made, I want a tail that sticks out like Lupe's. There are no original ideas anymore. Anyway, Lupe and I sat down and we redesigned it. We had a piece of paper each, just drawing different tail designs, and we ended up on the one we have now. Here's my current ref sheet if you guys are curious to see it. Oh, then what happened after that? Jeez. After commissioning Lupe on an emergency, a few months later, I got Faux 1. There's a bit of a story here because he was commissioned to be a full suit. Like a lot of fursuit makers, they struggle to meet deadlines because they make something, they don't like it, so they scrap it and start again, and that's pretty much a week of work gone. So things fall behind. It's sad, but please understand these are creators, these are artists. Give them time and they will do you justice. They will make you amazing stuff. Just don't get mad at them. Anyway, Faux was meant to be a full suit for Supernova 2015. A partial was the only thing that Lupe had finished by then, so I took the partial and I was happy with that. So here's a photo of Faux 1 at Supernova with Matthew Riley, one of my favorite Australian authors. I love his books, check him out. And Faux' first ever badge that was done at Supernova for $10. It took them 10 minutes and I just said, hey, can you draw me? As Faux 1 was meant to be a full suit, Lupe did finish it, but she decided to remake the head and tail and paws for a whole new full suit. And that's when I got Faux 2. This boy right here. Most of you probably know me from this boy because Faux 1 had a stint of about 6 months. Faux 2 has been the next 4.5 years. And now we finally get to Faux 3. If you want to check out more of Faux' history, my entire YouTube career is Faux 2. Everything I've done, all my high points, all my low points, it's all right there. The reason why I got into YouTube was because I did study film. Anyway, that's a whole different video. I might do that one day. You know, if you want to be a furry YouTuber, here's my advice. I'll make that a video one day. Hit that like button if you want to see that video. I miss conventions, guys. I miss all of you. I miss going out and suiting and having a good time. I'm so sorry that it's been a quiet couple of months on YouTube for me. I've just been really down, depressed, no motivation since the isolation kicked in. I know you all feel it too. I thought to myself when I first heard about it, oh yay, more time to work on videos, more time to get in touch with my community. And honestly, it's just been depressing, and from the bottom of my heart, I am so sorry. I love you all to pieces. I hope this has been a bit of an insightful journey of Faux, and I hope you all have similar memories of your first fursuit, and how you found the fandom, and your origin story. But our stories go on from here. Faux 3 is going to get out there. He's going to be seen more, do more things. I have some ideas down. It's just a matter of getting off my ass and doing them, and I promise I will be. Any questions in the comments, please leave them down below. A video coming up is going to be a Twitter Ask Me Anything. Literally ask me anything. Not only is it for Faux, Auntie is going to be in it too. If you have a question for Auntie, make sure you say question for Auntie or Auntie : On that note, I nearly forgot how Auntie came about. Auntie himself came about on a bit of an accident. We're going through different photo filters for the artwork of Faux, and we accidentally, like, when I say we, I say Lupe and myself, we accidentally hit the negative filter, and it looked good. That's where it came from. We got a picture of Faux, accidentally hit a negative filter, and I'm like, I like that. That has to become a thing, and Auntie was born. And some of you might be asking, why did I go Faux? Foxes are the best. It's the animals that speak to you the most, guys. Like, foxes, there was one moment in my life where I just felt a connection. Driving home from work at 4 in the morning, I took my exit from the highway, and up ahead in the road was a fox. The first real-life fox I'd ever seen. He was just chilling there on the road, and my headlights came across and lit him up. I wasn't going to hit him. There was like plenty of room. I saw him miles away, and he just kind of like just looked up, stopped what he was doing, looked up at the car, and I felt like he was looking at me. And he just figured out what I was. He was like, okay, if I don't move, that could be bad for me, and just trotted off. I got home about 5 minutes later and just had to like go, that was, I don't know what that was, but just that moment, I just felt that connection. It's like, I want to learn more about foxes. It was so gorgeous, such a majestic creature, and I felt that connection. So that's why I'm a fox. Ever since that moment, foxes are the best animal for me. I want to get one as a pet. Anyway, I hope that was a good little journey. I hope you learned a lot about me. If you do have any questions, put them down below in the comments. I will read through every comment as I always do. And any good questions, I will always answer. Anyway, Fluffbutts, follow me on Twitter for the Ask Me Anything. Ask Foxy, ask Auntie, any question at all. I don't care if it's faux related, I don't care if it's not faux related. And I will go through them and we will answer them on a video coming up soon. Anyway, I love your faces, I love your Fluffbutts. Foxy signing out. Thank you for watching my stuff. Bye!
What up, Fluffbutts? Do you want to see my videos early? Join the Faux Films Telegram group and get your name here in my videos? Well, for just $1 a month, that's all it takes. Check out my Patreon and support your Faux.